Hello everyone. If you're going to come to UK Fruit Fest, get in touch soon. fruitfest.co.uk or fruitfest.co.uk/registration for the registration information. Um, Prices are going up soon, so uh, go and take action soon. Look forward to seeing you there. Obviously, really hope that the government's going to keep everything, going to open up as they plan to. And But if we can't go ahead, if the government restricts things, everyone gets a full refund. So at least that gives you a little bit of security or whatever. But optimistic. Hopefully we can go ahead. Anyway, video is about So a number of people have got in touch with me when I've made videos about fasting and just fasting, which I don't talk about that much, but fasting mostly at the moment. And it was the same thing when I talked about breatharianism and things like that. And people would get in touch and say, you can't speak about this because you have no experience with it. And you've never experienced it. You don't know what you're talking about. And I don't know what they mean by, like, what is the great experience that they're talking about? What's this different thing that happens if someone drinks juice without the fiber, or takes the fiber out, processes the food, drinks it, and does that rather than eats the food? I'm not sure what they think the big magical difference is. Um, all you've done is you've not improved the process. You've done the opposite. You've taken a whole food in the way that you would eat that food, and you're processing it, changing it. I think it's still healthy, fine to drink juice, basically, but there's not really anything different happening there. I don't know what people think is so different about it. With the fasting, I've never done a long fast, and so people say, well, you can't experience. I've never done a juice fast. Same thing. I've never lived on juice, so I understand that point of view. You can't talk about it. You've never done it. That's fair enough. So if you believe I've got no opinion on that, that's fine. You don't have to take my opinion on it. But let me explain to you where my opinion comes from on a lot of these things. Um, for me, it's through observing the actions of so many other people. And what a lot of you have seen, and a lot of you are taken in by, is the projection of the reality that people like to share on Instagram, YouTube, and other social media platforms. And some of these people are financially incentivized in some ways to build up these ideas and these myths and stories. And that's all fine. We kind of get that people do that in every line of industry and business and all that. I have an issue with it within health because it's life and death, often. And that's where I think you have to be very careful with what you say, I think. But fasting is something. I've not done the long fast, but I know so many people that have. And I'm not talking about people that I've seen online. I get it. A lot of you have these online friends that they say this and they project this, and you think that that's who they are. And you think that when they say this, that's exactly what happened. Okay. But I've spent my time actually in the real world, meeting and interacting, spending time with, living with, being surrounded by people from this movement. And over the years, having attended 25 festivals and probably 100, at least 100 other gatherings, events, things of that nature, I've met so many people, probably, I don't know, thousands, tens of thousands, and you start to see patterns, and you start to see um, the similarities. You start to see the mindset. You start to see the things that work and the things that don't work, or the things that work and the things that don't really make a difference, if you want to put it that way. And the mindset that works and everything. And what I found with the people that I've met who are long-term, raw vegan, really looking after their health at the highest degree for the longest time, what I found with the ones that I feel have been the most consistent and do the best is that I didn't see this attitude of wanting to fast all the time. I didn't see that. And in fact, what I found was with, for example, one of my main teachers, Dr. Doug Graham, who made a living at one point from fasting people, and to this day, to some degree, will be paid for people to fast with him. So he has a reason to promote it. But even speaking to him and seeing how he lives his life, he's completely not interested in fasting all the time on a personal level. And as far as I'm aware, he's done one long fast in his life of 30 days and never did that again. And doesn't see any need to. And his great phrase, and there's so many little things that I picked up from him over the years, but he said, when people ask, what about fasting all the time, fasting every week, fasting once a year? And his reply was, I would rather live in such a way that I did not require I didn't require a fast. I want my lifestyle to take care of me so well that I don't need to fast. I've not got a reason to fast. And that's always made sense to me. And this is someone who has a reason to promote it if he likes. He has a reason to because people have paid him to help them with that. And yet he'll still give his side of it. And that's pretty much how I see it. He's also talked about, because people will say, well, you put your body under stress with digestion. He says, but with fruit, we're really talking about digesting water and sugar and digestible fibers. And these basically don't really take much energy to digest. This isn't a big deleterious process on the body to digest fruit. So we're sticking to a fruit-based diet. We're not putting our body under that kind of stress that would make it require fasting all the time. Now, on top of that, I've met a lot of people that have fasted. Long-term fasts. I've been looking at stories and content about this stuff for the last 10 years. Because I'm involved with the festival, I talk to a lot of people about their stories, about their journey. I do the podcast. I've interviewed 70 people now. A lot of them long-term raw vegan people. And talked about fasting experiences and things like that. What can I say? And I just go back and my impression over the years, my personal impression, is that I've met many people that fasted that don't stick long term to a healthy lifestyle. That fasted and then a month later I saw them go back to junk food. And not one time, many times. It wasn't the thing that made the difference. A fast didn't make the difference. It didn't break their addictions to their previous diet. It didn't break their habits. It didn't change their habits. And I started to see another side of it, where I start to see people talk about fasting, and I realized what they really meant or sometimes what they meant, or occasionally, and it's okay, it's not all the time. But firstly, I started to realize it was weight loss, regardless of what people would say, regardless of what they said out loud, regardless of what they wanted people to believe. And the meme that goes around now is, it's not about weight loss for me, it's about focusing on a healthy lifestyle. It's not about weight loss, it's about focusing on a healthy lifestyle. Like, this is the wisdom. And you know, it's a nice idea. It doesn't, yeah. And if you start to eat fruit, low fat, raw vegan diet, stuck to that consistently, you probably would lose weight. I don't. I I can eat enough. I can eat enough that I can maintain my weight. I can put on weight. Eating just fruit, I can put on weight. I can do that. A lot of people that start off can't do that. They've not got the capacity yet. They've not developed the ability to eat that much yet. But I can do it. So for me, if I want to lose weight, I'm going to focus on losing weight. And I think people should focus on losing weight if they want to lose weight. If weight loss is the thing, you should focus on it. Because what happens is, if someone's looking for weight loss and they don't get it, they're going to go and do another diet. Doesn't matter how they felt. Doesn't matter. Their skin was great. Their chronic disease. I've met people whose chronic diseases disappeared, who went away from a raw vegan diet afterwards. I've met people who had immune disorders. I met someone whose family background had an immune disorder. I'm trying to think if immune disorder is the right word. That's probably not the right word, but we'll just say immune disorder. And his symptoms went away. Raw, mostly vegan, mostly raw diet. Wasn't quite 100% raw, but mostly. Went back to eating meat, literally just eating meat, carnivore diet, whatever, and then was saying, as if the vegan diet destroyed his health. He's just lying. Just complete lies, total lies. But people get so deluded. You can't trust people when they talk about their diet. It doesn't matter that they healed a chronic condition that was killing them. It doesn't matter that a disabling immune disorder disappeared. It doesn't matter. You see, this is how bizarre it gets. It doesn't matter that you have the answer to people's things that people kill people. It doesn't matter. People are strange and crazy when it comes to food. This is what I've learned over the years. One of the big lessons I've learned. And you sometimes have to ask 20 questions to get the answer. But what I've realized that for many people, fasting really was a translation of weight loss. And they were chronically fasting, binging, You can always out binge a fast. Fasting causes weight loss because of that. No, fasting causes weight gain because of that. Yes, the fast didn't make you gain weight, but the cycle is fasting and binging. And until you see that is connected, they don't get it, and they keep on going back to fasting. So that's with fasting, and at the same time, the eating disorder thing is so miserable and horrendous and terrible, and some of those people are talking about fasting, and you're like, no, you need to stay away from fasting. You're disqualified from fasting. But they're fasting all the time, claiming to fast. Oh, I need to heal, I need to detox more, I need to cleanse. It's all bullshit. They're anorexic. Do you know what I mean? And that's not everyone. That's not everyone that fasts. I don't mean that. That's not everyone that does fasting and has this cleanse, detox mentality and all that stuff. That's the extreme. But the extreme is so bad that my question is maybe we should not, maybe fasting shouldn't be promoted basically at all, because the extreme is so bad. Um, and yeah, it's a mental health condition, so it depends on the person, but it's um, it's terrible. But people are kind of want to try and hide it by saying they're fasting, by saying they're doing this stuff, and it's always very different to people who are kind of doing it for much more specific goals. You know, people have certain things that they haven't healed in their body, or certain things that aren't skin issues and things like that. They want to see if a fast makes a difference. Fair enough. And if you've been on a raw vegan diet for X number of years and some things haven't healed up yet, it's probably a worthwhile thing. As a one off with the specific intention of what you want to do. Um, but it's not a lifestyle. It's not a good idea to make it a lifestyle choice to be fasting all the time. Whenever I have a whim to fast, I'm going to fast. Like, no, that's a bad idea. It's a really bad idea, I think. Juicing as a protocol, whatever you want to call it. Once again, I've just seen. I mean, I think a lot of people that do this lifestyle long term juice every day, or have juice and will juice and things like that. Um, but once again, it's personal experiences of people that I've seen doing juice fasts, juice cleanses, juicing, and never maintained a long term healthy lifestyle, like change their diet or whatever. And some very extreme cases. And it's once again, it's a good weight loss strategy for a short period of time. But like I had two friends, and this is the thing when people talk about experience. Like I had a friend up here who met this woman. They got married, and they kind of knew the diet I was doing back then. I lost touch with them a bit, and then she was talking to him on Facebook about doing. She wanted to do a juice cleanse or juice diet for 30 days, and I saw her, and I thought, oh, she's going to ask me about this, but she didn't. She said she started to criticize me about my diet or something, and I was amazed. I thought, how is she not asking my advice here? Um, because I know how to make a juice fast or whatever you want to call it work. I kind of get it, and there's nothing particularly special about it. It doesn't create some kind of extra level of detox or cleansing or healing. It just doesn't. It's not like a personal opinion. It's just not what does removing fiber do? There's nothing that can do that makes your kidneys and liver change the way they function. It just doesn't work like that. Um, so it's. I mean, this like John Rose talks about it being a good introduction to a raw vegan diet. A lot of people over the years had a daily kind of juicing habit, especially green juice. The problem is green juice. Like if people try and live on green juice, it's pretty much doomed to fail. Um, but some people like to have like a rule or restrict themselves because it keeps them consistent and makes it easy. So I get it from that perspective. But I've got two close friends that did 90 plus day juice fast that are no longer vegan. And part of it was one of them, they lost a lot of weight, and that was sort of good for like one of them liked that at the time. The other one probably didn't like that so much at the time because he didn't really need to lose weight. Um, and both of them went away from this lifestyle, and I've known other people that fasted long term that went away from veganism. So what I'm trying to say, from my opinion of the experience I've had in seeing people and the patterns I see, is I've not seen it being the best thing to focus on. I don't think it's the thing to focus on. I don't think you should make it a lifestyle. I think it's very specific reasons to do it at certain times. With the water fasting thing, under supervision, it might be make it a nice experience and all that. A lot of people want to jump into these things because they're short term. They think they're going to get short term, quick results. They're trying to clean themselves up because they were drinking alcohol yesterday. They need to fast today. That happens all the time. People are doing stuff like this all the time. And this is where I don't like fasting, because people think it's a solution to how badly I was eating last month. Oh no, I've been eating junk food again. I better do a fast. This is wrong. This is totally wrong. So a lot of the people that promote fasting, they've just never got a consistent, healthy lifestyle that they're happy with. So they project online, oh look, I'm eating 2 strawberries and a papaya today. And they do this and that. And eventually they binge. They don't show the binge. But when they're fasting again, they've been binging. That's what a lot of people are that's what a lot of what's happening. But this should just be a lifestyle. It shouldn't be some kind of crazy, like, in after 20 years on the diet, you're still trying to work out, how you're still trying to cleanse more, and like, forget about that. Get on the lifestyle and then get on with your life. Like, that's it. If you're eating fruits and vegetables, then that's making up the majority of your diet. 100% raw, I think's very good, then that's it. You're set. Get away from the animal products. Get away from all that stuff. Like, get away from all that, and be consistent with it, so that you can forget about it. So you're not thinking about it anymore. You don't want to be consistent, always tinkering around with your diet, always wondering if you should be fasting again. And all of this comes from personal experience, not experience of me personally fasting, because I chose not to. That's why I don't have the experience with these things. Because when I got into this movement and educated myself and went to these events and went to the speakers and the teachers and spoke to many, many hundreds of people and saw their experiences and read the books and all these things, my choice was, I don't really think I need to or want to fast right now. I want to focus on making sure I get the lifestyle right. And I made the right choice. And I never really got into juicing, because once again, I just thought, well, that doesn't seem to be the long-term strategy. I want long-term. I don't want short-term results. I don't want short-term, I'm going to do this thing today, this week, this month, and figure out the rest of it later. I'll just let's figure out how to do this. Figure out how to do this. Maybe I'll experiment with a juice diet at some point. I've never been impressed with juice. If I start to increase the amount of juice in my diet, I've never thought, oh, this is better than eating bananas, having a banana smoothie. I never thought this feels better, or this digests better, or I'm cleaner, or I never thought that. What I did see was someone that I was around a lot. And for me, they liked juicing, because juicing, if you have a day of juicing, at the end of the day, you don't feel like you've put on as much weight. You went back to weight gain. Because when you cut all the fiber out, it's lighter, essentially. Because fiber makes up a lot of the weight, as well as the water. Water makes up the most of the weight, but the fiber will as well. So I don't know, if you're gonna do these things, do it for specific reasons. Don't do it for weight loss. Um, if you want to see if it clears up your skin or something like that kind of thing, I think that's worthwhile, especially fasting. If you've got arthritis, joint issues, things like that, I think it's worthwhile giving it a try after you've been doing this lifestyle maybe 2 years consistently. So if you're consistently doing this lifestyle, because I'm not, a lot of the people that I've met that have done fasting for certain things, they never stuck to this lifestyle consistently yet. I've got a friend who did go to fast because of some of his skin, and he'd been sticking to this lifestyle consistently 7 years, 8 years, consistently. Then he decides to fast to see if it makes a difference. But I've got other friends who didn't consistently stick with it, who went to fast. And I think if they just maybe done this lifestyle consistently, they might have seen the difference. I don't know. So anyway, thank you for watching. Uh, Feel free to comment below. Look forward to seeing some at the festival, fruitfest.co.uk. Check out the Love Fruit podcast on Spotify, iTunes, all over the podcast, and on here on YouTube. You can go and find me on the other channel, or go to look at other stuff on the UK Fruit Fest channel if you like. And I'm on Instagram, Fruity Ronster, UK Fruit Fest, all that kind of stuff. So thank you very much.